Welcome back to Boring Gear Reviews. Today we have the Total Gravy Guitarworks Gravybucker pickups. Huge thanks to Derek from Total Gravy for sending me the Gravybuckers. Okay, so Derek has a variety of pickups, and with PAFs, oftentimes people get really focused on like a vintage spec PAF, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with. But here, Derek took the sound and feel of a vintage PAF and just updated it to have a wider dynamic range, more clarity in the low end, and not get shrill in the top end. And what he's created with the Gravybuckers is, in my opinion, one of the absolute best vintage sounding humbuckers you can get. These things are clear, even, super widespread. Like, when people talk about PAFs, they want that like 3D quality, that, that depth in the EQ and the tonal characteristics. And the Gravybuckers are like a completely full spectrum all across the EQ with nothing spiking too hard in any one direction. And it doesn't get muddy in the low end, which for me, especially because I play so many Les Pauls, is a big deal. These are also very mid-focused, which obviously if you follow the channel for a while, I love mid-range, and any excuse to get a little more, I'm into. So the other thing that really struck me here was, I've talked about it before, but like a vintage humbucker, a PAF, was designed as a P90 that didn't hum or didn't buzz. And that's how that sound came to be. They weren't trying to make what we now know as a humbucker. They were trying to make a P90 that didn't hum. And that sound, which is like a kind of like a fat single coil that gets grittier and it has a thicker, more full sound, is what we're all after. And the Gravybuckers nail it. It sounds like a single coil or like a P90, but with all of the warmth and fullness and no buzzing, just like you'd want from a humbucker. So in my eyes, this is truly one of the best versions of all those characteristics I've seen. Here, our neck pickup is made with an alnico 5 rough cast magnet, and it's about 7.5K of output. And our bridge pickup is alnico 8 rough cast with about 9.5K of output. Now, don't get too bogged down with the magnet type or the magnet number. Back in the day when they were making these, they just had bins of magnets, and they weren't checking for tolerances. They weren't checking for, is this an A2 or an A3 or 4 or 5? I don't think they had 8 yet. They were just grabbing them and putting them in. So sometimes people get really hung up on the specific numbers, but even that, like how they're magnetized, how they're cast, how they're wound, like that's all going to make such a huge difference. You don't need to get too caught up in like the number of the alnico magnet. What I can tell you here is these things sound phenomenal, like truly exceptional sounding pickups. Anyway, let's get to it. For today's demo, I'll be using my 1980 Tokai Reborn Old LS80 with Total Gravy Guitarworks Gravybucker pickups. From there, we'll be running into my Universal Audio Apollo X6 and then into the Softtube JMP 2203 amp plugin. Additionally, in some of these clips, I will have the Chase Bliss Audio and Meris CXM 1978 for a little bit of plate reverb. All right, so in this first clip, we're going to run clean straight into the amp. I'm going to start on the neck pickup and then move to the bridge. What I want from a clean pickup is a very warm, punchy, and clear tone. So glassy on the top, tight but not clinical on the bottom end with a nice mid push. And you get all that here. In the beginning, when I'm on the neck pickup and I'm picking with my fingers, it's very acoustic sounding. It has that beautiful front end of the note bloom that you get with PAFs. And then when I move to picking with the bridge pickup, it's just like so clear. There is a grit in the high end that what you would get from like a P90. And you get that here. It's so gorgeous. Anyway, sounds great. Enjoy. All right, in this next clip, we're going to go for a low gain sound. So I'm going to start on the bridge pickup with the volume rolled back. You'll hear how well these things clean up. Sometimes and not just the way they're wired, sometimes pickups, when you roll the volume back, can lose a lot of clarity, a lot of definition. They get muddy, they get kind of dull. Obviously, that can have something to do with how they're wired, but the way I wire my guitars, they shouldn't get muddy or dull when you roll the volume back. But some pickups actually do, and these ones do not. They maintain excellent clarity, note separation. It's just gorgeous. So anyway, low volume stuff, I'll roll it up and you'll hear it, the way it digs in and pushes the amp and just kind of like opens up that low gain sound. Is gorgeous. And then I'll move to the neck pickup with a little bit of lead work. And it just sounds like, I'm so sorry to use this term, but it does the telly on steroids thing. All right, in this next clip, we're going for like a mid-gain crunch. I'll be on the bridge pickup the whole time, and this is exactly what you want this sound to be. It's tight, it's focused, it's very raw and open sounding, completely uncompressed. When you dig in on low chords, it growls. When you move up to, higher notes and lead lines, it sings and bites. It has all of the things that you want from this tone. Enjoy. in this next clip, we're going to be in the middle pickup with a little bit of breakup on the amp. What I look for in a middle pickup position is very punchy and clear, but very warm. For me, good middle pickup position always sounds kind of like a big acoustic guitar. And that's what I felt here. It has that type of response where it's very plucky and very even. Like it's not, obviously in your neck pickup, you're going to accentuate more low end, more kind of roundness. In the bridge, you're going to get much more biting, much more high end and thinner low ends. And in the middle, you want that kind of like flat frequency response, which I really feel I got here. And that's evident by the way it handles harmonics in particular. So as I go from low notes to harmonics, it's just completely even, no big spikes. It's really awesome. All right, in this next clip, we're going to play between the bridge and the neck, but the tone we're going for is a much glassier and trashier, like a mid breakup tone. Not all pickups do this well. Like when you roll the low end back on the amp and you boost the high end, some pickups really get thin and anemic and shrill. And that isn't the case with the Gravybuckers. Like I said, they just stay exactly where you want and like exactly where you need them to be. I just love this sound. It's everything I want from like a more like indie type of rock tone. All right, and in this last clip, we're gonna be high gain and on the bridge pickup. So for me, to my ears, a pickup is great when it can handle cleaner and like mildly broken stuff with like a lot of subtlety and richness. And then when it can handle high gain type of tone with clarity and punch and grit without getting muddy. And the Gravybuckers do all that. It's just across the board, they nail it. So here, high gain, and I'm detuning the low string to like an A or something like that. And a lot of pickups can't handle that. They'll get really flubby and they lose that signal, but not here. So don't be scared away by like a vintage voiced pickup. They handle high gain beautifully. There's a ton of mid-range, a ton of growl, clarity. It has everything I want from like a high gain tone. And that's a wrap for the Total Gravy Guitarworks Gravybucker pickups. I've actually used these in another video I did for the Audio Surplus Effects Dornenkrone. So if you want to hear these pickups with like an insane amount of aggressive, disgusting distortion, check that video out. Derek's making amazing stuff. You can check out the 2 videos I've done for 2 of his amps and also for his reverb and tremolo unit. I also recently just put a set of his P90s in another guitar of mine, and you know, they knock it out of the park too. So as always, nothing but praise for Total Gravy and Derek's work and skill. Just a true master out here in LA. So if you're interested in his work, check out the links in the description below. Or if you're interested in any of the other gear I'm using, that's down there too. As always, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you like the content, consider hitting subscribe, like, share, comment. That stuff means a lot, helps the channel out as I'm really trying to grow much larger all the time. Thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.